A great omen for women's football indeed. And of course, we have the best football journalist in the country. It's a super journal, Mazola Mulife. Good evening, Mazola.
Yeah, Cardoso speaks for the first time after Sundowns get back into action, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into those news.
And of course, we have the principal as well in studio tonight. Principal me Anzagangi.
Riperle Mangovo, Malibongwe, Gamalama
Asbong.
Lana ke Sizoya ku surprise Matuns. Was he supposed to finish the game Sundowns Polokwane City? Sizokutshela ke siyale Orlando sobheka ukuthi Pochenpool, was he sent off at the right time or not? Ungafambi tshama la ka Soccerzone hi ta ku byela ku ri no swi sasekile or a swi sasekanga. Ngiyabuya.
Let's though take a look at our topic of the day right here on Soccerzone. It's an exciting one, an interesting one, in fact. Now, with the team now heading into the 2027 FIFA World Cup playoff, how would you rate Banyana Banyana's overall performance and campaign out at WAFCON 2026? You can, of course, share your thoughts with us on Facebook, on X, as well as on TikTok, and of course, sabcsport.com on the World Wide Web. We do have the super journo standing by to let us know what's making news in the world of football.
Yep, my colleague Velile Mnyandu was at Safa House in Nazareth over the weekend, and he called it the worst kept secret. We now know that Pitso Mosimane has been endorsed by the NEC to take over from Hugo Bruce as the next Bafana Bafana coach. This is a second tenure for the coach. But, I can tell you that it's going to unfold in the next coming days. Safa hope to announce Coach Pitso either on Wednesday or Thursday, but they still have to offer him the package. The coach must sign on the dotted line to see if he wants to be the head coach. Hoping for good things, Busi, we're here.
Indeed, we are hoping for good things there with Coach Pitso Mosimane once he's announced, if he signs, because we know for a while Coach Desiree Ennis was working without a contract. Give me your thoughts on Pitso Mosimane, potentially our new head coach.
I love the way Mazola phrased it, the worst kept secret in the history.
Absolutely.
Because, who else are real contenders? You know, when we heard initially that Coach Hugo Bruce was not going to continue, it was really only in everyone's mind one name that really popped up. And I think we've all missed Coach Pitso. We've missed him immensely.
I've missed his touchline interviews.
He's just been missed in the South African football landscape. We've lost him a while ago. He's been international for a long time. I'm looking forward to seeing him again in local space.
Certainly. Back to you, Mazola.
Yeah, let's hope they tie those loose ends in the next coming days. Another player that's hoping to be out of limbo is Thapelo Maseko. We can confirm here on Soccerzone that talks are ongoing now, officially, formally, between FC Copenhagen in Denmark and Mamelodi Sundowns for Thapelo Maseko to leave either on a permanent basis, on a loan basis, with the obligation to buy. But this is what Coach Miguel Cardoso said about his relationship with Thapelo, a player that he left out of his training camp in Austria and so far has been out of his matchday squad.
First of all, between Coach Miguel and Thapelo Maseko, there's no issues. Yesterday I had a beautiful talk with Maseko. When I was asked about, inside the club, when we had to discuss the situation of Maseko, obviously we had to understand if he wanted to stay with us or no. Because I don't want to work with players that don't want to be part of our group. So my question on Thapelo, even yesterday, I asked him, look, my heart is open for you, the team is open for you, if you want to join us and stay open heart with us. Obviously, when the player says, but I want to go to other place, then it becomes a club's question and not a coach's question. So.
Yeah, what the coach also revealed in that same press conference was just an update on Monna Pule Saleng, saying that he had been invited, first of all, to go to Rabat when Sundowns played the CAF Champions League, which they won, and the player just simply did not pitch. And then he was invited to go to the pre-season tour of Austria, and the player said he doesn't want to. But I can tell you at the moment, what I've been informed is that Monna Pule Saleng remains a Mamelodi Sundowns player. His contract yet to be terminated. But as things stand, given what Cardoso has said there, it could go either way. But we'll keep you updated on sabcsport.com with that news. Another confirmation that's come through earlier this afternoon is that Sundowns will host Algerian giants USMA in the CAF Super Cup as well. Remember, these are the two champions of, respectively, the Champions League, Mamelodi Sundowns, and the Algerian side winning the CAF Confederation Cup over the previous season. So it will be held in Tshwane on the 8th of November, and we'll be there to keep you updated as well. Let's now go to our final story. Kaizer Chiefs fans, hey, bayalla ki di gapa fela. Kaizer Chiefs eliminated from the MTN 8, and the coach, Fernando da Cruz, says they still have a lot to work on.
C'est sûr que sur les 3-4 grosses occasions qu'on a, notamment en première mi-temps.
No, he says that on the 3-4 big chances we had in the first half, we have a lack of lucidity inside the box. Also, after we are running after the score, so we have a lot of precipitation in our making of decision. So we need to be calm, and it's things that we need to improve step by step.
Yeah, I would imagine there'll be still a lot more in sabcsport.com in the coming days. The transfer window, remember, only to close on the 21st of September.
Certainly love that, with the transfer window only closing on the 21st of September. So still quite a bit of time. But we spoke about how exciting things have been at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, as well as, of course, in this weekend's MTN 8's quarter-final action. With that said, I guess Badlali that stood head and shoulders above the rest. These are your MVPs.
Maeva and Joe, what a goal to knock out the defending champions from the tournament. Absolute stunner there. Free kick from a long way out.
Mr. Jones, Lungu, what a way to introduce himself at Orlando Pirates. Beautiful goal there for Mr. Jones. Great player there. He's even crying.
And certainly the most controversial goal of the weekend, the goal that knocked Kaizer Chiefs out of the MTN 8. Certainly was not welcomed at Nature Arena.
Not at all. Taking a look, of course, as your three finalists for the MVP of the week. But to you, Mr. Jones, Kampani Lungu finding that winning goal for Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8. We do have as well Ukulegani Shezi, the man that scored the goal that sent Amakosi packing out of Wafa Wafa action. And Nyajo is the lady that sent Nigeria packing out of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, who are, of course, the defending champions. And of course, you can vote for your MVP on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, as well as on our TikTok pages. All right, we now get into the football action. Now coming into match day number 3 of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, a lot of teams had their calculators out and shuffle. We look at our groups. Group B, eNingizimu Afrika kanye futhi no-Group C. Ngizoqala ngawe nge-Group B, because in Group B here, we saw where the fight was going to be. You have South Africa, who were on 1 point. You have, of course, right at the top of the table, we will take you through what those permutations were looking like. But you had South Africa on 1 point, you had Tanzania on 3 points, you had Burkina Faso on 3 points, and right at the top of the table was Cote d'Ivoire. Siyazi ukuthi iNingizimu Afrika la ibe yawina lo mdlalo, kodwa iCote d'Ivoire neTanzania zadlala draw. South Africa would have been sent packing.
Yeah, it was a very tricky one for South Africa, especially ngokuqala ngokuluza game against Tanzania. So baqale on the back foot, but I like their spirit ababuye ngaso, and to draw against Cote d'Ivoire. And the most important one, they had to do it the hard way against the Burkina Faso, because it was a must win. And then the girls, yeah, they managed to to make us proud, and they got that very hard fought a win, and well deserved.
Hask Group C had a lot of people confused. I was sitting in studio doing the game. I'm listening to the commentary, and I'm saying, I thought in CAF we go head to head, and as things were looking, Nigeria was in it, Malawi was in it, Zambia was in it. You listen to Barbara Banda doing her post-match interview, and she still thinks they've possibly qualified. That, for me, was the heartbreaking part.
Yeah, certainly. The permutations around that was always going to be very tricky. The fact that Egypt were nullified, it's almost like they didn't exist in this tournament because their results didn't matter. And you look, it's tough because Zambia scored 6 against Egypt, and surely that should count for something. And it ended up not counting for anything, and that ultimately is what cost Zambia a place in the next phase of the tournament. So, the head-to-head thing needs to possibly be reconsidered, because you speak about the Banyana group as well. That game could have been decided in the boardroom. If 2 countries got together and conspired, a draw would have knocked Banyana out regardless of what they did. And so we possibly need to rethink the whole head-to-head thing, especially when we look at how Group C played out as well. There was so much confusion around who would actually go through and what the permutations were.
So much confusion there. Well, let's take you through in terms of what match day number 3 looked like out at WAFCON 2026 as we came to a wrap of the group stages.
Collects. Tries to get the ball in. There's a chance for a shot. A great goal. Sumptuous shot. Great goal. Wadrayogo. Conan takes Abbas the wrong way to make it 2-0 for the Côte d'Ivoire. Steps up. Right foot. Slots it into the corner. And a fantastic goal it is for the Twiga Stars.
Labuyela laphana manje uMotlale waselibeka ngakwesokudla kumagama yasikaza amagama uzama ukufaka ebhoksini umagama nalithuba yaphakuza inethi.
Once he cuts inside, puts it on her right foot, goes for a shot. It's gone in. It's gone over the line, surely. And they're celebrating. She couldn't hold it. It had a sting in it. Mercy Sakalo, and look at that. The draw will take place later this year, December. As we still go into qualification, it's been picked up here. Nice little dance, and the ball comes back. There's a shot. Oh, it's goal number 2. A brilliant strike as well. Lovely touch and a chance here. She's going to go on the outside. Can she get the shot in? There's a goal for Malawi. And of course it is Tabita Chawinga.
Here comes the 6-time African Women's Footballer of the Year and finds the back of the net, having sent Habiba the wrong way. And Nigeria are ahead. Taking it short on this occasion. Bajide into the middle it goes, and that is simplicity itself. A gift for Gift Monday. Can she now produce more heroics to keep her side ahead? She can't, because she sent the wrong way, and Egypt have their second goal of the tournament to the delight of their coach Mohamed Kamal. Even if she were to find a second that late and it were enough to take Nigeria through, they would be delighted. Might they do so here? Surely they must. Oh, that is instant impact from the substitute. Can you believe it? Up she steps and side foots it in. Oh, well, Christy Uchebe taking the responsibility. Nicely played inside the fullback. Egypt come forward, and this is their most promising attack of the second half. Ghazi with the strike, and Ghazi with the goal. Egypt with their second, and it all changes again. Ajibade for the Super Falcons.
And basically, final match day out at the WAFCON 2026 tournament. We take a look then, Hask, at the teams that made it through. Group A, any surprises? Morocco, Algeria?
No, again, Algeria did exceptionally well. Senegal, I felt, were very unlucky. They competed beautifully, but ultimately just, they weren't clinical enough. And I remember that opening game against Algeria where they possibly should have done better.
And you look at their goalkeeper, Ndiaye, saving a penalty twice from Rabat in that final group match encounter. When we look at Group B, of course, Cote d'Ivoire as well as South Africa shuffled going into the knockouts.
Is South Africa going to the knockout? Yes. I think we are used to Banyana being into the semi-finals or the finals as a WAFCON. And yeah, for me now, I think Cote d'Ivoire, I was expecting Cote d'Ivoire to really give it a run, but yeah, it was not meant to be. But Masizala, Malawi.
The Scorchers, that's what they call themselves, and I think we all get why they call the Scorchers. And I was listening to Metro FM earlier today, and Sudesh Singh was just speaking about how that Malawian team is literally built around the Chawinga sisters. So you don't allow them to play basically in a game, and you could be through.
Yeah, certainly, and that's the beauty of the women's game. You know, there are those standout performers where if you do shut them down, but it takes a lot to shut them down. That's one thing. It's very difficult. Easier said than done.
And lucky there for Zambia, they don't make the cut. Cameroon, if you talk about a team with second chances that takes it and runs with it, they didn't qualify straight up for this WAFCON. They in fact qualified based on their ranking, but they finished top of the group and they're also going to the World Cup.
Yeah, I think for me, in this group, with all due respect to Mali and Cape Verde, but you will expect Ghana and Cameroon, you know, to occupy that number 1 and number 2 spot. So I think for me now, there's no surprise in this group in terms of Amatima qualifying.
All right, so that's basically the teams that then made it through into the knockout stage of WAFCON 2026. Masjigemba, we're careful. We take a look at how things went as soon as we got into the quarterfinals and why things turned out the way they did. Of course, we know the major upsets coming through. South Africa knocked out, as well as the defending champions in Nigeria.
And then Cote d'Ivoire, they had to chase the game, but it was too late. And then in Morocco, South African, you know, trailing 2-0 against the host, always you know, to win because bane crowd ngapha, and I think they did try their best, but their best was not good enough on the day. So Morocco, I think they deserve to win.
Well, Morocco getting their revenge because we know South Africa won the 2022 final against them. We also played them in December. A very convincing 2-0 victory for Banyana against Morocco. But how the tide has turned. Hask, talk to me about Cameroon up against Nigeria and Malawi against Ghana.
Yeah, that's, again, once we go from the Men's World Cup where it was a tournament of surprises. That was what it was dubbed as. This is, you know, much the same because who would have thought in the group phase already Nigeria would lose a game against the Malawi. And now you get to, you know, they fought tooth and nail to get to that quarterfinal stage against Cameroon. They would be fancied, but it just wasn't to be. Cameroon, who, as you mentioned earlier, didn't even qualify outright. They really dug deep, and they've shown that, you know, the second time's a charm, or that second opportunity they got, they grabbed it with both hands. Beautiful performance against Nigeria. They had to defend for large parts of the game, but they did the business. And then Malawi, as Southern Africa, as COSAFA, they are representing us. You know, you look at Chawinga, the Chawinga sisters, and they're a nightmare to deal with. And so Ghana felt the full brunt of that. And let's hope they can go a long way.
Also loving that young Kadzere who plays for Montpellier there for Malawi. But as soon as we get into the semi-finals, this is Wednesday's action, which you can catch live on the SABC, on SABC 3 as well as 2, respectively. Algeria, Malawi. Talk to me.
Malawi.
The underdogs, the lowest ranked team in the tournament.
Underdogs, because no one is really played. Abakhona ukuplan against Malawi kahle because ababazi. Number 2, bebabadelela, they didn't even consider them to reach where they've reached. So underdogs, they are always, you know, not easy to play against. So I'll go for Malawi against Algeria. I think Malawi will make history and get to the final.
And Hask, let me come to you. Host nation Morocco, we've seen every single one of their games sold out, packed to the rafters. They take on Cameroon.
It's going to be a tough one, but you have to really admire what Morocco has done in their football, men's and women's football. They are the front runners. They are leading the way, setting the benchmark. If you put the systems in place, for only that reason alone, I want Morocco to do well, because they are setting the example for the rest of the continent. Put the systems in place, do the right things in order to develop your football, and you'll get the reward. And we certainly are seeing that even in their women's football. They are two-time finalists now in the tournament. We know they lost the last two finals. And this possibly the year that they go all the way.
Possibly the year that they go all the way, led by coach Jorge Vilda, the man that won the World Cup with Spain. These are officially the teams that have qualified for the semi-finals, and they are going to Brazil 2026, Algeria, Cameroon, Malawi, and Morocco. And of course, South Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire live to fight another day.
Manje yini playoffs?
Uzokutshela uMark, Mark awumtshele.
What is this?
Mark awumtshele.
Yeah, the funny thing is 6 teams can qualify. 4 will qualify automatically,
okay,
and 2 teams will go into the playoff. So from the losing quarterfinalists, so those 4 teams are all losing quarterfinalists. They have to play for those last 2 spots to go into the intercontinental playoff. Basically the same way the DRC qualified for the Men's World Cup.
Ahead of Nigeria.
Ahead of Nigeria. This is possibly how South Africa can still get to the World Cup. But now we pit it against our arch enemy, our arch rival, Nigeria. It's going to be a tough ask. But
it's a battle of everything with Nigeria.
are not in a rich vein of form either. As much as, yes, we're not in the best moment in terms of our women's football on the international stage, Nigeria aren't either. And that's what should give us hope. We can certainly pull it off.
And perhaps it's an opportune time for us to then get into that discussion. When we look at WAFCON 2026, Shafo ngokubona kwakho, what went wrong for Iningizimu Africa?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's not the same. Sometimes, you know, when you finish the previous tournament on the high level, win the tournament, Guamanyama tournament being the final, the losers, the loser finals, the semi-finals. So I think the hunger, it was not the same hunger
has talked to me, because a lot of people saying with Banyana we had to see a lot of individual performances having to come through. You saw against Burkina Faso, Thembi Kgatlana having to find that goal, fighting hard for South Africa. But for us to get that passage into the knockout as well, Hilda Magaya coming off the bench to score the winning goal in 90+9 minutes, starting off the bench for South Africa.
Yeah, certainly. We scored 4 goals in the tournament fee. 3 of them from, obviously, Thembi Kgatlana, and then 1 from Hilda Magaya, as you mentioned. Are there enough role players around the field? Is everyone stepping up? And you look at your more experienced campaigners, especially in the middle of the park, the likes of Linda Motlalo, Refilo Ejane. Are we asking too much of individual players? Because you can see opponents know who to close down, who to target, whatever the case may be. I believe one of our better players, one of my favorite players in the Banyana jersey is Bongega Gamere. But the problem is that she's the best centre-back and she's the best central midfielder as well. Do we have enough depth in our squad? That's what we need to improve. And so just from an all-round perspective, in terms of our game, are we doing enough to really grow the game and take us to the next level? And we've got a generation of footballers who led us to the title. Where's the next generation? Do we have the next generation coming through that are putting the older ones under pressure? As we're seeing, in the different spaces, we need to have the younger crop coming through, putting, their older counterparts under pressure for places in the team. I don't think that's happening enough. And where does that begin? It begins from development level. Are we developing, enough players? Is the pool of talent wide enough? Is the pool of talent big enough for even Coach Des to choose from? It leaves a lot to be desired.
Leaves a lot to be desired. As well, we saw Upikinini and Thembi Kgatlana really fighting hard in that last game. Many people saying, Thembi celebrating a goal, but we are still a goal down. And talk to me about Shafo Mawubona lo mdlalo wokugcina weNingizimu Afrika ngenkathi lana idlala neBurkina Faso. Phambi kokuthi iyodlala neMorocco, we see that goal that sends South Africa into the knockouts.
Yeah, and yabona balithunge kanjani. Lisuka from the left side, it went all the way from the right side. Look at the pass, beautiful pass between the defenders. Uthembi ke sniper, amagola nje vele uzokulimaza, you know. But I think njengoba uMakashile, we can't depend on her alone or Jane alone. They are already established players, so baplana ngabo. All these teams, they plan around this Abotembi and Abo Jane. So we need other youngsters to come and push Abo Jane and Babe lapha Abo Jane bakwazi ukufunda. But for me personal, I think Banyana they've been doing well even before Hugo Bruce came. They were the ones that were doing well kuma national teams without resources.
Imagine then what South Africa could do with the resources.
Exactly. So someone has to answer for that. And the custodian of our football is who we look to.
All right. Well, unfortunately, Banyana, they're out of the running in terms of lifting another WAFCON title, but they live to fight another day in terms of the World Cup qualification. They will be taking on Nigeria on Thursday, and you can catch it live right here on the SABC. I guess in Tatama, Kefen Masjiga and Jumba with Kef, it's all about MTN 8 Wafa. There can only be one. Welcome back in Sabweli Soccerzone Kolalana with SABC 1. It's your best review show Lananingizim Africa, where we take a look at what's been out in the world of football. We've spoken at length about WAFCON 2026, and now it's time to change gears into the MTN 8 Wafa. What a way to start out the pre-season tournament Lananingizim Africa. You look at Orlando Pirates coming through, you look at Mamelodi Sundowns coming through. We had the pleasure of doing this Kukune United game. 7 goals scored. What a beautiful game. And unfortunately, Shaful, our Makosi Bagit.
Yeah, no, but it was a great game of football. Wafa. The tournament, I'm a player. Mentally, I will be fit. Physically, they are still also not 100%. So that's why Maunga Pega, a lot of goals go on game from Pirates game to Chiefs game. Amakula maninga kore go critical phase of the game. So amachita wagabi ipetra gagabi full guy. Alga charge guy.
So qaqqa kahle ke namhlanje kholalana ku Soccerzone. Let's take a look at MTN 8 Wafa quarterfinals.
Rekopana jalo re le mo lepaleng la Orlando mo motshamekong wa di quarterfinal tsa sejana sa mantshano sa Wafa the MTN 8 Azare Msomi Orenpon penalty Karate sorona bila mo to Kibidu Orenpon Otatsa ruwaka go lebala motshameko Ale go bagala tshale ka la ka kana Tito Why not Punte Batla jalo nganana ya rumela ntshalo ka botlhale mo tseleng ya ga Serena ba e fetisa ka serokeng a ba re ba itshamekela mo lefatshe la ditene le tana kwate Ana le mokgwa wa go nosa ga kitsane mo setleng se kgone go ntse jalo ba rumela Commentator's kiss.
In what was a second highest scoring MTN 8 quarter-final clash this past weekend, Mamelodi Sundowns came from a goal down to beat Bulugwane City 3-2 in Archardville. iRise and Shine yona etheleke kuqala njengamanzi engene endlini obonkosi Dlamini ladla kodwa ashesha abuya ama-Brazilians uTebogo Mokoena edlale kamnandi bene Antonio van Wyk balishaya phakathi kwathi 1-1. On debut with his Austrian skills, Van Wyk went from an assist to scoring his first goal on debut for the hosts, and they were now in front 2-1. Just after the hour mark, City beat Sundowns' offside trap, and that's when Didimalo Mulokwane punished them 2-2. It took the great return of Cassius Mailula, the prodigal son, to combine with the GOAT, Themba Zwane. Watiwa cash. 3-2. Zandula esaseklorko.
And Chatsworth welcomes you. It welcomes the MTN 8 quarter-final of Amazulu versus Kukuna United.
sentse se tla se fetola maina fela sejana se sa MTN 8 wapa wapa a re bone jalo Mpanjo a romela o batla jalo Kgadebe thula ka tlhoko kgwele e tla nang kotsi AmaZulu.
But Babinanoko have set high standards since their promotion to the top flight a few years ago. And they are still looking for that first piece of silverware. Strike from range, deflection, Skukuna United strike back just like that.
Ramala Marumela Mokotenya Haufi. Tata mostra pensa AmaZulu. Para Bonetalo Ramala. Ramala akahoga. What a goal! Azami Lisbaga sabe to tell the Somali 3 Ray. 3 is Kapasa. What a cover! And then we're happy.
Debe from the left. Tariq Phillies knocks it across. Maybe it falls for Allen. Or for Phillies again. AmaZulu have equalized. Kamabu goes for it. Let's fly! What a goal!
Golden Arrows became the fourth and final team to reach the MTN 8 semi-finals, beating Kaizer Chiefs by a 1-0 last night at the FNB Stadium. Abafana besithende babone ithuba elihle liza naye ke ukhulekani Shezi wathi ngiyabonga, thank you very much, ladla abafana bophuthu madoda sebayohlangana neMamelodi Sundowns kuma semi-final.
And a confirmation of those results from the first weekend and quarterfinals of the MTN 8. Orlando Pirates through 2-1 against Durban City. Mamelodi Sundowns a 3-2 victory against Rise and Shine. Also to Olma Beshankone going down 4-3 against Babina Noko. And Amakosi unfortunately bowing out of the MTN 8 by a 0-0 against Abafana Bestende. We see there what Shuffle was speaking about in terms of the teams not being quite sharp as yet. 3 of those games going into added extra time. A confirmation of your semi-finals. It is Kukuna United that will be home in the first leg against Orlando Pirates, while Mamelodi Sundowns, Bafana Bastard, will host the Golden Arrows in that first leg of the semi-finals. As we start to speak about a conversation, opportunity to start speaking about our defending champions, the Orlando Pirates. Nanoma bangadlali ibhola esilijwayele ibhola eli-crisp ngaleyo ndlela, they are still a team that is able to have enough character to find the victory, because we saw how they were able to get it done against Durban City.
Yeah, I think Nalama play bawa etile good additional players. You know, they want to continue from la bagcine corner. Look at the outswinger cross from Umuremi. Beautiful goal from Ulunga, Mr. Jones. I mean, your debut, almost 30 minutes of second half extra time, game say and then you score a scorcher like this. It's gonna boost the confidence yakhe. And Nyamazi mina from Super Sport when he still came back. Makaqala ukufika la South Africa sasemncane. Hard-working boy. I was very expecting ukuthi Ulunga uzozadlala in big team, but beautiful goal there. And Orlando Pirates iyabonisa mayisene depth, so they won't rely to a player anyone. Yes, they've lost some quality players, but they still brought a player angayithathi Pirates foot to the next level.
There was a lot of questions about his signing when he was brought in, and people like, is he really going to add value to Orlando Pirates? I think he's answered that quite emphatically, because the goal that he scores there, it's not an easy thing to do. He's under pressure, the technique he uses. There's a lot of control that's involved there. He knows exactly what he wants to do. You're volleying that, but it's almost like a slice volley. Yeah. But beautiful control. And if you look at the timing of the goal, we're about to go into the 30th minute, crossover to the 30th minute mark of extra time. Can't ask for better than that.
Mr. Jones, Mr. Jones does find the back of the net there for Orlando Pirates in the 120th minute to take them through to the semi-finals. We go to the other encounter, Mamelodi Sundowns up against Rise and Shine. We've always seen Polokwane City to give Mamelodi Sundowns a tough time, but here perhaps we can speak to, yes, Mamelodi Sundowns get the results, but that defensive vulnerability, particularly from set pieces, could be a concern for Coach Miguel Cardoso.
It's quite literally two set plays, and two set plays where you don't deal with the first ball because it's the first cross look there. We don't get the first ball, don't clear it. It falls on the back post. Lamini does beautifully. But then the second goal as well, it's a free kick. But again, it's the first ball that's won by Polokwane, put further back into the box, falls to another Polokwane player, and it's in the back of the net. Look there again, not winning the first ball. It makes it very difficult. And for me, the big problem a lot of times, they're always in a flat line. I've seen that a couple of times. I remember when Cameron Danson scores the goal of the season last season. It's from a set play where literally they line up almost in a straight line. First clearance comes, but there's no one protecting the edge of the box. So do they need to rethink how they defend set plays? Quite possibly. It needs to be better because a lot of teams will be looking at this and wanting to profit off their defensive frailties on set plays.
They too, like Orlando Pirates, are able to dig deep and find the winner. It's a player that said if he returns to South Africa, Mamelodi Sundowns is the only home he knows, and he finds the winner here.
Yeah, but good combination play from Mshishi and Ulo, number 11. But the finish, Mailula, instant impact, and he's a clinical finisher very around the box. The likes of Abo Romario, you know, the Brazilian, even the late Laki Maselesele, you know, short, very powerful, strong, and composure. But the finish, but also the move, Temba Zwane, Pele Beseka corner, and Makolu Temba Zwane, Wonka Makita Valley, who John Vulikitu, we are Vulu Zwane.
Umshishi Vulama Katie Mailula finds that winning goal for Mamelodi Sundowns to send them through as well to the semi-finals of the MTN 8 for a second season in a row. We also saw the character of Skukuni United coming through, and Ushezi Owayoge Golden Arrows Abafana Best 10 breaking the hearts of the Amakosi faithful. Welcome back to Soccerzone. Let's now take you to the moment that many across the country have been waiting for. Yimtisela principal kurata idwela kuri susasekile kumbe aswisasekani.
Welcome to the referee's corner. Let's start with WAFCON, Algeria, Cote d'Ivoire. There's a red card that was given. Was it correctly given now? Let's go and have a look. We can see our Drago there. Kicking the goalkeeper on the face, now, FIFA is saying hand on the face is a yellow card. Now, a kick on the face, what does it mean? Now, FIFA is saying this is serious foul play. The player must be sent off for kick on the face. You can kick anywhere, but when you come to the face, it's a different story altogether. Remember, Kekana against Sundowns Experience, he was sent off for kick on the face. He was even given 2 bans, not 1 game, 2 extra because of what? On the face. Now, let's go to the next one. So, correct decision by the referee to give a red card through VAR. Let's go to the next one. We'll go to Pochenpool. Pochenpool here, a penalty was given here. Now, the law says if a player is challenging for the ball and a penalty is given, no more yellow card. Here we see Jelly Chaban giving a yellow card and a red card, which was incorrect for a second yellow card. But Pochenpool was supposed to get a yellow card on the 24th minute, which was second to be red card. So he was sent off very late. He was supposed to go out on the 24th minute for his tackle on Jansen. Right, let's go to the last one. Here we see Matonsi. Hey, Matonsi, Udayabandu Matonsi here. Look at him there. This is serious foul play. He got a yellow card. But we're going to show it to you that the speed, the intensity, this is brutality. This is not even a yellow. This player was supposed to have been sent off. He was not sent off.
All right, so out of the 3, 1 is correct, and 1, I mean, where the ref did the right thing there, and that is at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. I mean, women's football, always on the rise. Let's take it through to an ad break. And your MVP this week, it is Mr. Jones, Kampani Lungu, the man that finds the back of the net and the winner for Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8. Congratulations, massive percentages there. My eyes are playing tricks with me though. 70% in favor of Kampani Lungu. Let's now take you through to Almamesh.
Go to the field of play to target ankles and not collect red cards.
They came to end careers, Baba.
And Baba, they sing and sleep.
We must go to the police
But
station.
Baba, they go there and play rugby, not football. Back.
Look at that. Just look at that. That's my Josie finally getting booked. What's the keeper doing there? How horrible is that? You gotta feel a little bit for him. Look at those rugby lines on the field. Yes. So unlucky this somewhere. I really feel for him.
I know, Shem, that last one, even Bernard didn't know what to do with himself. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. The principal, Super Journo, the Hask, Shuffle the Pack, and myself, Obusiwe Ntokazi Wangobo, and the rest of the Soccer Zone team. Have yourselves a good night, and God bless.
It's crazy time at Lotto Star. Bet